Here we are going to see in this unit 2 pulse modulation about the pulse amplitude modulation and pulse width modulation briefly. Pulse amplitude modulation. The main principle is the amplitude of the pulse is directly proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal at the sampling instant. So the width and position of the pulse remains unchanged. So in this diagram, a generator of the PAM, the modulating signal x of t is the signal to be transmitted. So then it is given to the low pass filter. Here the low pass filter will perform band limiting process. So after this process, the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter is equal to the highest frequency present in the x of t. So the low pass filter will avoid the aliasing process. Then the band limited signal is then sampled and it is given to the multiplier, that is multiplexer. The another input of a pulse generator, that is a carrier signal, is given to the multiplexer. Both the modulating signal as well as the carrier signal both combine together and it will produce the pulse train, that is a C of t, and it will be given to modulator. So the multiplication of x of t and C of t will produces the PAM signal, which is y of t. Then we see about the generation of PM. So in the pulse amplitude modulation, the amplitude of the regular intervals of the periodic pulses or electromagnetic pulses is varied in proportion to the sample of the modulating signal or message signal. So these sampled impulses can be transmitted directly and will be used by the wired media and can use a carrier signal for transmitting through the wireless method. So the pulse shaping network will produce both the message signal and combined with the sampling signal. So it will produce at last the PAM signal in the shape of combining of message and sampling signals. So there are two types of sampling techniques. They are flat top PAM and the natural top PAM. Okay, the first one, flat top PAM. So it means the amplitude of the each pulse is directly proportional to the modulating signal amplitude at the time of the pulse occurrence. So these tops of the amplitude remains flat. So that's why it is known as the flat top PAM. Natural PAM means the amplitude of each pulse is directly proportional to the modulating signal amplitude at the time of the pulse occurrence. Here the top of the pulse amplitude will not remain flat. So it will be occurs at the shape of the amplitude signal level. So then it is known as the natural PAM. Detection of PAM. So the PAM signal is passed through the low pass reconstruction filter. So the filter will reconstruct the analog signal from the PAM pulses and it will be given out output in the message signal, that is M of t. Here we have used the reconstruction filter and equalizer to convert the PAM signal S of t into the message signal M of t. So next one is transmission bandwidth. The pulse duration tau is supposed to be very small and it is compared to the time period, that is Ts, between the two samples. So if the maximum frequency in the signal x of t is W, then the sampling theorem Fs should be higher than the Nyquist rate, that is Fs is greater than or equal to 2W or Ts is less than or equal to 1 by 2W. So since Fs is equal to 1 by 2 Ts and then T is less than Ts is less than or equal to 1 by 2W. So if the on and off time of the pulse is the same, then the frequency of the PAM pulse will becomes F is equal to 1 divided by tau plus tau, that is 1 by 2 tau. So the frequency of the PAM signal is given by the equation as F max is equal to 1 by 2 tau, that is Bt is greater than or equal to F max. So at last Bt is greater than or equal to 1 by 2 tau is greater than or equal to W. Okay, that is the transmission bandwidth of PAM signal is sometimes greater, very large when compared to the highest frequency of the signal bandwidth, that is W. Advantages. So PAM can be easily generated and it will be detected. It can form the basis for many other pulses for modulation techniques like as PCM, DM and ADM. So the main advantages is transmitter and the receiver circuits are simple and it is easy to construct the circuit. Disadvantages. So the bandwidth needed to be transmission of PMS signal is very large compared to the frequency level. So the interference of the noise is maximum for PAM signal, and also the amplitude of the PAM signal will varies. This also varies the peak power required by the transmitter level. Applications. PAM is used for transmitting the signals over a short distance baseband channels, and it is a simple communication channel. So it is also used in instrumentation system, and it is also used in analog digital converters for computer interfacing. Next we are going to see about the pulse width modulation, or it is also known as pulse duration modulation. It means the width of the pulse is directly proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal at the sampling instant. So the amplitude and position of the pulse will remain unchanged. Okay, here we are passing the message signal as well as the carrier signal. They will combine together in the PAWM modulator, and it will provide the PWM output, that is the pulse width modulation output. Types of PWM. So the width of the pulse can be modified into three types. They are trailing edge modulation, leading edge modulation, and the last one is leading trailing edge modulation. Okay, trailing edge modulation. It means in this method the position of the leading edge is fixed, but the position of the trailing edge is changed according to the required width of the pulse. So that is TS is the sampling instant, which will observe that the leading edge is fixed at the TS. So the position of the trailing edge TT is varied to get the required width of the pulses. Leading edge modulation, second one. In this method, the position of the trailing edge is fixed at the sampling instant TS. So the width of the pulse can be changed by varying the position of the leading edge at T1. Okay. So the last one is leading trailing edge modulation. It means in this method the center of the pulse is kept fixed at the sampling instant Ts. Then the position of both the leading as well as the trailing edges are varied at the T1 and T2 to get the required width of the pulses. So the next one is PWM generation using the IC 555. Okay, it is basically a monostable multi-vibrator with a modulating input signal, and it is applied at the control voltage input. So the control voltage is adjusted to 2/3 VCC. Externally applied modulating signal will change the control voltage, and it will have the threshold voltage level as a fixed value. So the result of time period required to charge the capacitor up to threshold voltage level will change. So giving the pulse modulated signal at the output, we will receive the pulse width modulated output signal. Discrete circuit for PWM generation. So in this diagram we can see that the monostable multivibrator circuit to generate the pulse width modulation. So here the stable state for the above circuit is T1 is off and T2 is on. So the positive going trigger pulse at B1 switches the T1 on. Due to this, the voltage at the C1 will fall at the T1. So now it will begins to draw the collector current. So as a result, the voltage at the B2 will fall and T2 is switched off. Then the C is determined by the supply voltage. And then the RC time constant of charging the network, the base of T2 will become sufficiently positive to switch on the T2 on. Okay. So at last the transistor T1 will simultaneously switch off the regenerative action and it will stays off until the arrival of next trigger pulse. So T2 will on, the base of the T2 must be slightly more positive than the voltage across the resistor RE. Okay. So this voltage will depends on the emitter current IE and which will be controlled by the signal voltage that is applied to the base of the transistor T1. Again then it will turn off the transistor T2 and it is decided by the signal voltage. So if the signal voltage is maximum, then the voltage that capacitor should charge to turn on T2 is also maximum. So therefore, at the maximum signal voltage level, the capacitor has to charge to maximum voltage, will requiring the maximum time of the charges. So this will give the maximum pulse width at the maximum input signal voltage. So at the minimum signal voltage, the capacitor has a charge for minimum voltage and it will get a minimum pulse width at the output. So next we are going to see about the demodulation of pulse width modulation signal. Here the received pulse width modulation signal is applied to Schmitt trigger circuit. So the Schmitt trigger circuit removes the noise in the PWM waveform and it will generated the PWM. Then it is applied to the ramp generator and the synchronization pulse generator. Okay. So after applying it to these two generators, the ramp generator will provide a ramp for the duration of pulses such that the height of the ramps are proportional to the width of the PWM pulse. So the maximum ramp voltage is retained till the next pulse will occur. Okay. On the other hand, the synchronization pulse generator will produce the reference pulses with the constant amplitude and pulse width. So these pulses are delayed by specific amount of delay and it is given to the adder. So adder will add both the pulses and the delayed reference pulses and the output of the ramp generator is added with the help of adder. So the output of the adder is given to level shifter. After that, here we will receive the negative offset waveform which is clipped by the rectifier. So finally, the output of the rectifier is passed through the low pass filter to recover the modulating signal and we will get the demodulated output signal. So next is advantages. Advantages, unlike the noise is less and amplitude is held constant. The PAM is signal and noise separation and it is very easy. PWM communication does not require synchronization between the transmitter and the receiver side. Okay. The disadvantages is pulses are varying in the width and therefore that power contents are variable. So this will require the transmitter to handle the power contents. Okay, larger bandwidth will require for communication. Applications. So it is used for asynchronous transmission over the noisy channel and the PWM is used to generate the pulse position modulation. So it is also known as the motor control. Thank you.